Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something that, let's be honest, can be a real headache for even experienced testers, the multi-select dropdown in Selenium WebDriver. Let's get right to it.
You know the drill, right? You see a standard single-choice dropdown and it's muscle memory, a little select by value or select by index, and you're done. It's pretty much the bread and butter of UI automation. Piece of cake. And then you run into this thing. It's much more complicated cousin, the multi-select list. All of a sudden, you can pick one option, two options, or hey, maybe all of them. The old playbook just doesn't work anymore. So how in the world do we automate this? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so first things first. To really nail this, we have to understand what makes these two elements fundamentally different. It's about way more than just selecting a few extra items.
So let's look at the matchup. With a single select, it's simple. You pick one, and that's the end of the story. But with multi-selects, whoa. It's a totally different beast. You get the power to choose multiple items, sure, but that also means you need a way to unchoose them, and you need a way to verify everything that's currently selected. It really is a whole new ballgame for your automation scripts. So just so we're all on the same page, what we're talking about here is any UI element that lets a user grab more than one option from a list. And here's the dead giveaway in the HTML. You'll see a select tag, but it'll have that special multiple attribute. If you see that, you know exactly what you're up against.
Okay, now listen up, because this is super important. This is a classic tripwire that gets a lot of people. If you ever try to call a deselect method on a normal, single select dropdown, your script is going to blow up. It'll throw an unsupported operation exception. And why? Well, because the element literally can't do that. It doesn't support that action. Seriously, tattoo this one on your brain. It'll save you hours of debugging down the road.
All right, so we get the what and the why. Now for the fun part, the how. Let's open up our toolkit and see what Selenium's Select class gives us to master this challenge.
Here are the core tools, and we can think of them in three groups. First up, selection. These are the methods you already know and love, and they work just fine here. But the real power comes from the next two categories. Deselection gives you methods that are exclusive to multi-selects, letting you unpick items. And inspection is how we ask the list, hey, what's currently selected?
Okay, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. Seeing this stuff in action is what really makes it click. Let's walk through a real-world automation flow. You know, when you laid it all out, the logic is actually beautifully simple. First, we find our element and wrap it in a select object. Then, the fun part, we just start calling our select methods, one after another. After we've picked what we want, we verify it by counting the selections. Then we can deselect an item and, this is the crucial bit, we count again to prove it worked. It's this perfect, clean cycle. Act, then verify. And this is what it looks like in the code. See? Not scary at all. You literally just call the select methods back to back. Selenium is smart enough to know that on a multi-select list, this means you want to add to the selection, not replace it. So right here, we're grabbing California by its value and another option using its index number 5. So we run our check to count the selected options, and boom, we get 2. Exactly what we expected. Verification number 1 is a pass. Okay, now let's reverse course. Want to unchoose that second option we picked. It's as simple as calling deselect by index and passing in that same index, 5. We run the count one more time and perfect. The count drops to 1. And that's it. That is the core mechanic. We just selected multiple items and then programmatically took one away. You now have full control over that element. So mastering selecting and deselecting is huge, but let's kick it up a notch with a real pro move. Let's talk about one of the most common and powerful test cases, making sure the correct default options are selected when a page first loads.
I mean, just think about it. When a user lands on a form, is company size already selected like it's supposed to be? Checking that by hand every time is tedious. Automating it? That's a rock-solid test. The secret weapon here is a fantastic little method called getFirstSelectedOption. And the best part? It works on both single and multi-select lists. And this single line of code is the magic wand. We call getFirstSelectedOption, which hands us the web element of whatever is selected by default. Then we just use .getText to grab the visible text from it. It's so clean, so simple, but incredibly powerful. Once you have that actual text stored in a variable, the last step is a piece of cake. You just run a simple assertion to make sure it matches your expected value. Something like company size. And just like that, your test case is complete and fully automated. And that brings us to the end.
With these methods for selection, deselection, and inspection, you are officially equipped to handle any dropdown Selenium can throw at you. So, the question I'll leave you with is this. Armed with this knowledge, what other complex UI states that once seemed tricky can you now go out and automate with confidence? That's all for this explainer.